Good evening. My name is Chris Pinello. I'm the not director. I am the Community Relations and Education Foundation strategist for Great Oaks, and I am delighted to be with you this evening to talk about opportunities, what's next for sophomores in high school, certainly, and take a deep dive into what Great Oaks is all about. This is an exciting opportunity for us to have live Q&A. So this is interactive. We want to hear your questions. We hope to give you good answers. And let's go ahead and introduce our panel of experts this evening. I'm going to start with my colleague, Bill Davis. He is the career specialist at our Laurel Oaks campus. Bill is a longtime employee of Great Oaks. He was a teacher for many years, a very wonderful career specialist who has helped guide many students along their paths. Bill, like to say a few words?
Yeah, well, I'm just glad to be here tonight and hopefully be able to answer some questions people may have and just to tell everybody about what a great place Great Oaks is and what we have for everybody.
Another colleague joining me tonight is Ann Toohey. Ann is the career specialist at our Scarlet Oaks campus and is a recent addition to Great Oaks, and a wonderful one at that. Comes with a lot of enthusiasm, has a background as a counselor. Say hi, Ann.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. We're all really psyched to have you guys here.
Now, I know we have a lot of parents probably viewing right now, and I am really delighted that a parent of a current student has agreed to join us this evening. Molly Lutz has a daughter, Audrey, at Laurel Oaks. She's in digital design, I believe that's correct. And Molly is from Washington Courthouse. So Molly had gone through what you're all going through right now as parents of prospective students. Say hi, Molly.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me this evening.
Wonderful, wonderful. And a very special guest coming to us all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. That's the wonders of technology, everyone. An alumnus of Great Oaks. This is someone who went through our Scarlet Oaks program. He was a student from Mount Healthy who came junior and senior year to Scarlet Oaks in law enforcement, and now is a very successful tax attorney in the Atlanta area. Very honored to welcome Conley Scott. Conley, say hello.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here.
Wonderful. Now, again, tonight is interactive, so we want our viewers to ask questions, to learn more. Please feel free to post anything on the chat. I should introduce another person who is behind the scenes. Sarah is with our student services department, and she is also a veteran of Great Oaks and has been in a position to guide many students along their paths and parents. So she will be there to help answer some of those questions online. We'll also be addressing questions to our wonderful panelists as we go through the evening. We're using the hashtag #AskGreatOaks. It's easy to remember, Ask Great Oaks, or snap them to us at Snapchat at go_real life. And we will do our best to answer your questions live on the air tonight. Before we talk to our panel, I wanted to provide kind of a general overview of what Great Oaks is. We don't want to assume that everyone knows exactly what Great Oaks is. So Emza, we're going to start our slide presentation here. Discover Your Greatness is the hashtag we're using right now, and it's very purposeful. And when we think about students who are forging their own career paths or their own pathways in education forward, Great Oaks is a wonderful place to do that. And we understand that not every journey is the same. In fact, all journeys are unique. And this just gives you a sense that we want students to discover their own greatness. And that's not prescribed. That is what they find along the path that suits them best. We want to encourage people to pursue their passions, play to their strengths, and ultimately discover their greatness. Next slide, please. Great Oaks is big. It is the largest career technical district in the state of Ohio. It is one of the largest in the country. And we think about how something like this started in the late 1960s. Just a quick history lesson. In the late 1960s, the leaders in Ohio decided that we needed to focus on career technical education because we're falling behind in areas of manufacturing and not filling certain positions. And they basically told school districts, you need to be able to teach career tech. Well, in order to have the best labs, the state-of-the-art labs, a bunch of school districts got together, pulled their resources, and created Great Oaks. We span, as you can see on this map, 2,200 square miles, 36 school districts are all part of Great Oaks. And we have 4 campuses. Specifically, we're talking about the 4 campuses that serve high school, mostly juniors and seniors this evening. But also please know that Great Oaks serves 30 schools with satellite programs and also teaches 13,000 adult learners every year. So this is a large operation, an incredibly valuable asset to our region. Let's go to the next slide, please. Again, 4 great campuses, 1 Great Oaks. So we have Laurel Oaks is up in Wilmington. That's where Bill is working with us. Scarlet Oaks is in Sharonville, and that's where Ann is. And that's sort of a central location here. And then way over on the west side, for you West Siders, we have the beautiful Diamond Oaks campus. And over on the east side, and it is currently under renovation, will be brand spanking new practically in the fall, is our wonderful Live Oaks campus. So not all of the programs we offer are at every single campus, and we can help address some of those questions this evening. Also, that information is online, but just understand that there are 4 Great Oaks campuses, all serving students throughout our region. If you live close to one, you don't have to go to that one if you're looking for a specific program. The next slide, please. Again, what is Great Oaks? You know, tonight we're talking about being a high school, and we are a high school that's primarily serving juniors and seniors. Our students, what's unique about it, are taking essentially a super elective. So half of their school day is spent in a lab in this highly concentrated area. And then they're also meeting all of their academic requirements for graduation. So it is a high school kind of on steroids in a sense. Students are getting top-notch academic teaching, but they're also getting to be in state-of-the-art laboratory facilities where they're learning a plethora of different skill sets that I think they can take with them for the rest of their lives and certainly into careers. Next slide, please. How much does Great Oaks cost? Well, there is no tuition. So, and this is for the high school students. So if you're coming as an adult learner, there is tuition, but not for our high school programs. We are a public education district. And do we provide school bus service is another question that's often asked. Our affiliate schools, those 36 school districts that we work with, provide busing to the closest Great Oaks campus. Next slide, please. I just threw this up there. I don't expect you to read all of this at the moment, but just know this is a quality school district. It is a quality school district, and the state of Ohio just gave us an A again. But you can see that we are meeting all kinds of, well, exceeding standards in the state for education and for placement. So just know that Great Oaks is revered around the country as a leader in career technical education. And really the opportunity to attend one of our campuses is a wonderful opportunity. Next slide, please. There's also the catalog available, and I just wanted to say applications are open for first choice priority through February 7th. If you haven't seen a catalog, we're happy to get that to you. It's also available on our website. But hopefully what I'm showing you on this screen right now looks familiar and that you've had a chance to peruse this wonderful document, which I've heard rumors it might win a Pulitzer Prize. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it was put together with lots and lots of love. Next slide, please, if there is one. Oh yes, and we'll go over some of this at the very end as well. But these are our career specialists. Two of them happen to be with us right now. But we're looking forward to answering your questions. We want you to definitely come to our open houses, which is the next slide, and we'll show this again at the end. But really, this is a chance to ask a bunch of questions. But you really should come to campus. See those laboratories, talk to those instructors. That is the way to get a real sense if Great Oaks is the right fit for you and or for your student if you're a parent watching. But we want to be a great resource for you this evening, and we're again happy to be with you, happy to answer your questions. I provided the brief overview, and I'm going to turn over to Ann now. And I mentioned that Great Oaks is well free, but there are some costs involved. We talk maybe a little bit about what those expenses might be for a student.
Sure, Chris. So those expenses are typically centered around uniforms. Actually, all of our programs require some type of uniform, and some are more extensive than others. Some of our programs for welding, for example, they need steel-toed boots. Some of our healthcare programs that are in kind of that health science cluster, they're wearing scrubs. So it just kind of depends on what lab the student is interested in, but that's really where the cost comes into play. And I think, when students they get concerned, oh my gosh, I have to wear a uniform. That always comes up, it seems like, and kids get over it pretty quickly that they're wearing a uniform.
And I'll just add that, if there is a hardship shown for let's say steel-toed shoes, which are boots, which are not cheap, we do have a Great Oaks Education Foundation, which can come in and assist when necessary. So there's no tuition. There are some costs with uniforms, but we don't want that to be a detractor. Ultimately, we want to remove those barriers and make sure that every student who wants to be on this path has that opportunity. And Ann, maybe tell us a little bit about who is eligible to attend Great Oaks and take advantage of these career programs that we offer.
Sure, absolutely. So majority of our programs are 2-year programs. So we are looking at juniors in high school. Obviously there are some situations that it is a senior coming to us, but typically juniors. We start back sophomore year. Actually, we start 8th grade having these conversations with our affiliated schools. And then sophomore year is that big year where they apply for the following school year as a junior.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. And, Bill has been around, as I said, years as a social studies teacher at Laurel Oaks, and now has been in the role of a career specialist, I think, for 8 years. I think that's correct. But Bill has helped a lot of students along the way. Maybe, Bill, give us a sense of what you think the biggest reasons are a student would want to come to Great Oaks, one of our campuses.
Well, I think the biggest thing is they see their future. And they see a path to get there. So when students are looking at different careers and different ideas for their future, whether that's college, whether that's straight to a job, they view our Great Oaks campus as a way to get there and get a big head start on their career path.
Wonderful. I was thinking about some recent exchanges I've had with students. In fact, there's a terrific article, if you guys have ever seen Cincy magazine, but there's an article about one of our students from Live Oaks. Her name is Autumn Kelling, and this just hit mailboxes this week, so it's hot off the presses. But Autumn is an animal science senior at Live Oaks, and it's interesting to hear about her journey and the reason why she decided to come to Great Oaks and the all the opportunities that she seized in that time. She's actually doing workplace or work-based learning this year. So half of her day would normally be in a lab. She's actually at a vet's office working. She's getting college credit plus classes so it's simultaneous high school and college credit right now as well. So she's taking advantage of a lot of great programs that are available. When we think about, not every student's journey is unique. But in the case of Autumn, it's interesting to see how she has sort of looked at the system overall and figured out a path forward. And I asked her, like, what do you want to be? And she said, I want to be a great vet assistant. And I want to also be working at animal rescue. And I have a plan. She's going to finish college in a year or two, and she's going to buy a house. And this is what she wants to be. Not every student's going to have that sort of a very near path sense of what they want to be. But what I love about Great Oaks is if you want to have that clear path, those opportunities are available to you. And I think that there's great mentorship in your lab instructors and people like Bill and Ann to sort of help along that pathway. This is a big decision to leave your home affiliate school after your sophomore year and come to a brand new school. And I know this doesn't just impact students, it's also about parents. So I want to bring Molly into this conversation. Molly went through this with her daughter. In fact, I understand you have another kid interested potentially in attending up at Laurel Oaks. Tell us a little bit about your journey and what helped you decide, like, no, this is the right choice for my kid.
Sure. So it was kind of on my radar to investigate. Laurel Oaks is the nearest facility to us. And I wanted to try and give my daughter as many opportunities to look at for her future as I could. So I scheduled a visit to Laurel Oaks with Bill Davis, and he was gracious to take us around the campus and show us the buildings and show us the programs. We got to see almost everything on my day's visit with him. We left that visit with a catalog of all of the programs that were being offered. And I was able to take that home and discuss that with my daughter and my husband about different things that my daughter might be interested in and looking at. The digital art and design program was the program that most appealed to her. She's always had a sense of drawing and arts. And we actually looked at our home school for opportunities to give her elective classes where she could nurture those skills, but we were unsuccessful at our home school. And so she was interested in the digital art and design program. We call that the DAAD lab. That's DAAD. So you may hear me refer to it as that. The next thing that we did was we attended an open house at Laurel Oaks where we met the teacher. The teacher of the program spent a lot of time with us. We probably spoke to him for over an hour about the program. We got to see different projects that current students were working on. He even had a couple current students in class who were able to talk about their experiences directly with my daughter, which was completely beneficial to her as a peer, telling of their experiences. After that, I scheduled a day for Audrey to actually attend the Laurel Oaks campus all day. And just as Chris had said earlier, she was able to spend the whole day in the actual lab class. So she was able to intermix with juniors and seniors. She got to eat lunch there. She got to see what campus was like when students were on campus and interact with them and get a feel for how the day actually looked. She came back sold. She wanted to be a part of the program. She wanted to go to Laurel Oaks and she wanted to be in that program. And we've never regretted it, honestly, from the recruiter to the principals to the counselors that have answered endless questions of mine, because I ask questions. I ask a lot of questions. They've been very patient. They've been very supportive, encouraging, and very informative. So we've been very pleased with our experience.
Well, we love questions, and I love your story as well. How have you seen changes since she started at Laurel Oaks? What is there anything changed about her demeanor or commitment to her academics? What is she like?
Sure. So Audrey was she was on the college and career program at our home school. And so she was taking some college prep classes and some advanced classes there. And one of the concerns I was worried about, or wanted to at least investigate and look into, was whether or not Laurel Oaks would continue to provide those types of classes for her and for her furtherment in her academics. Also, I guess I also had a question when I went to school. Laurel Oaks wasn't the track that you would go on if you were seeking to go to college. So I wanted to make sure that if that was something that was going to be in her future, that that was still an opportunity, and it is. She takes advanced classes at Laurel Oaks. She also takes college credit plus classes, as you had mentioned earlier in the program, that was an option. But like you also mentioned earlier in the program, she spends half of her day in the lab, which is what makes her happy. I would never really call Audrey a very shy person, but she is more close to her heart. She's more observant of others rather than outspoken. And so some of the biggest changes that I've seen with Audrey at Laurel Oaks and with the DAD program is that her confidence has grown. She's been able to interact with professionals and peers socially with much more confidence. She's been able to learn how to juggle many projects, deadlines, clients, and in some respects, she's had to produce a product quickly without suffering the result in the end.
Just like the real world. That's an expectation of the real world, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, she's just much more confident and able to manage multiple things, timelines, deadlines. And like I said, she's enjoying what she's doing. And so she's happy. And to have a happy teenager helps to make a happy home. So
happy parents as well, right?
Yes.
I wonder, since you call it dad, that they don't tell dad jokes in the lab. That's a terrible dad joke that I just told, so forgive me for that. Nice. Thank you for addressing the stigma, though, Molly. In all seriousness, I do. I'm of a certain age, and I think there was a stigma around vocational education. Oh, that's not on track for higher education, for college, for advanced degrees, and that's not the case. As I said earlier, every journey is unique. And you might have a student who goes through and goes straight into a trade and is really successful in that trade. You might have someone who is in a different kind of lab who ends up getting multiple advanced degrees. So I want to really underscore that this is about forging your own path. And a lot of students who are involved in career tech do go on to continuing education in many forms, just to be clear about that. We've got a video that we want to show you that have a few of our students sharing why they came to Great Oaks. Let's roll the video.
Why did you choose Great Oaks? I wanted to try something different with my life that typical high schools didn't offer, so I decided to come to Great Oaks to try to find something new to do.
Sitting in a classroom, I can get hands-on here, and it's a lot better to be hands-on instead of just sitting there and reading a book about it.
Okay, and why did you choose Scarlet Oaks?
To further my career in dental hygiene.
Why Great Oaks?
Because of the good certifications that I can obtain here.
Why Great Oaks? I like working with my hands, especially construction.
All the certifications that I can get right out of high school, and I'll always have an opportunity of jobs.
And why did you choose to come to Great Oaks?
I knew a lot of people that had come here, and they all loved it, and a lot of my friends came here this year, so it felt like a good fit for me.
You should choose Great Oaks because there's several opportunities in several different labs, and you are bound to make friends.
Why did you choose Great Oaks?
Because I wanted to get a career in what I love.
We might have some future reporters among those students who did a great job asking their fellow students some questions and got some great answers as well. I want to turn now to our esteemed alumnus on tonight's panel. I was watching a video not too long ago. It was actually put out by the Great Oaks Education Foundation, and it was kind of highlighting alumni stories. And I saw Conley's story, and I'll admit, it was just beautiful seeing someone talk about their journey, their experience at Great Oaks, what it meant to them. But rather than have me tell you, Conley's actually here with us. I'm so glad that you were able to join us from Atlanta. You were at Mount Healthy,
Yes.
and then you decided to come to Scarlet Oaks. Tell us about your journey to Scarlet Oaks and beyond.
Yeah, so in my last 2 years of high school, I was on the mindset of trying to prepare myself for college, actually, right? Trying to make sure I have a little bit of leg up on the competition and give myself a little bit of boost in the application progress. And looking at all of the opportunities, I thought what would actually help me become an attorney. And at that time, I was looking to become a prosecutor. So, law enforcement, thinking about how officers think and how offenders think and how that interaction would be in the real world. Law enforcement was actually a great opportunity for me. And Great Oaks actually, as you all have explained, gave me the opportunity to receive some college credits as well. So I took that and I ran with it. One thing that I always tell everybody is to play the cards that you have. And Great Oaks is an excellent deck of cards. Like everybody else, it helped me to build my confidence, helped me to be more organized, more critical of situations. And that really helped me in my higher educations. I have 3 degrees and a certificate now, working on my Master's of Divinity as we speak. So Great Oaks helped me with all of that. Organization, working with others, working with the team, because that's in higher education as well as in life. So I'm always happy to be here and to talk about Great Oaks and what it's done for me. I'm happy.
Wonderful. I remember in the video testimonial that you gave, Conley, you talked about discipline. Mm-hmm. And how as you finished your high school sophomore year and you got to Great Oaks and you sort of discovered discipline.
Yes.
In the sense that you were able to sort of hone your energy, your thoughts, and look at the success story that you've turned that into. It's just extraordinary. And again, really grateful for you being here. I talked earlier about that hashtag, Discover Your Greatness. I'm going to lay a softball right here. Do you think Great Oaks help you discover your greatness?
I definitely think Great Oaks helped me discover my greatness, especially with the program that I was in. I was in law enforcement, and you pair up with the junior ROTC as well. And so you're learning from a master sergeant. At the time, it was a Navy master sergeant. And so, you have to make sure that you have your attention to detail, your gig line, which is your line shirt matched up to your bottom of your pants. So you have to be great in the program. They don't let you be lackluster. There's responsibility and accountability that you learn and you bring out into the world. Yeah. And side note, those technical 511 pants that you have to pay for, I won't say how long I've been out of school, but they're still in great condition today, and I still use them.
Oh, I can't say that I'm wearing any pants from high school, so kudos for that. And very, very impressive. And I would say that like that discipline applies to other labs as well. I think about the safety involved if you're in HVAC or if you're in welding. In fact, a lot of the when you're a junior, when you're first at Great Oaks and working with lab instructors, in many of these programs, it is an emphasis on safety. Just to emphasize that for parents watching, something that is taken very, very seriously at Great Oaks. But we also know that these are essential skills, and using these tools is also of great importance. Well, thinking about the discovering your greatness, we're going to hear another video from some students attending our campuses right now, and this is actually captured by our social media influencers. So these are students who have some enthusiasm for the school that they're attending at the moment. We appreciate that very much, and talking about how they're discovering their greatness. Let's roll the video.
How did you discover your greatness at Great Oaks?
My greatness by joining my lab to continue my art passion in a professional career. That's how I found my
greatness. Discover your greatness at Great Oaks. discovered my greatness when I realized that I was good at something, and I realized I was good at video. I'm in dad, so like I do a lot of video stuff, and I realized my greatness when I got really, really good at that.
How did you discover your greatness at Great Oaks?
I discovered my greatness at Great Oaks by interacting with different people in my lab and finding out all the different opportunities there are in the medical field.
How did you discover your greatness at Great Oaks? Well, at first I wasn't sure if I was going to come to school here or not. There was a lot of hesitation, but coming to Laurel Oaks was the best decision I ever made strategically for my education and my career. I love the people here. I love my lab. I've learned so much, and when I graduate, I can go directly into the medical field and continue on in college. I'm already certified as a PTA.
How did you guys discover your greatness at Great Oaks?
We fell in love with the passion with the cars and like doing the body works on them.
It's just like, it's the fact of painting the cars and making it look like it's your artwork. You finish it. It just looks perfect.
Came here for residential commercial electricity without the expectation that I, could push me off as far as it would. And we're almost done with the first semester, and I already have job opportunities and people coming to me about like what I'm doing and how I'm doing. And
How did you discover your greatness at Great Oaks?
Oh, well, I always like kids. I always enjoyed being around them and helping them succeed, and this just helps me be better.
How did you discover your greatness at Great Oaks?
I think the greatest factor at Great Oaks is all of the students and coming from 10 different schools and all learning to get along. And then I think we have a great staff here that goes above and beyond to work with all of the students to help them be successful.
I could feel the greatness emanating from the screen, couldn't you? I just love hearing from our student influencers. That was a lot of fun. Just a reminder for our audience who's participating this evening, you can ask questions of our participants. Just pose the questions in the chat or on social media using, again, easy to remember, Ask Great Oaks. Thinking about sort of day in the life of a student, Molly in her household gets up every day, and there's a Great Oaks student right there. Molly, tell us about a typical day for Audrey.
Well, Audrey actually takes her little sister to the homeschool. That's how she starts her day out. And on certain days where she doesn't have to drive to the facility herself, she will take the bus from the school. And on certain days, she does need to drive to school herself because she's involved in after school activities at our home school, such as marching band and the high school swim team. And that's one thing I wanted to make sure that I indicated to people is that you can still be very involved in your home school. That was a make or break for Audrey. She had to be in the marching band. So that's something she's able to do. When she gets to school, as a junior, the juniors spend the morning hours in their labs. And I think that's several hours, couple hours in the morning. And then they go to lunch. And in the afternoon, they have their academic classes. And then as a senior, that's flipped-flopped. So this year, Audrey is in her academic classes first thing. She has 4 academic classes in the morning, then she takes a lunch, and she spends the rest of the afternoon in her lab working on various projects and whatnot. So
wonderful, making magic through the day, I have no doubt. And I'm happy to announce, joined by an actual student from our Diamond Oaks campus who's coming home triumphant. Emma Ashcraft is a welding senior. Our home school is Harrison. She's at our Diamond Oaks campus, I should say. She was just elected the Skills USA Ohio Southwest Region President. Just got back in town from Columbus. Emma, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your typical day coming to Diamond Oaks and what it's like being a student there?
Okay, so I come in every morning. I have late arrival, which is an awesome perk of being a Great Oaks senior, is that if we have most of our academic credits, we are allowed late arrival, which is awesome. So I come in at 8:30 every morning, and then I begin my academics, and I am in a college credit
English course. So with that, it's basically an English 101 class. So it's really awesome, and we do get the college credit for that. So I really enjoyed that class. And then after all of my academics, we have lunch. Lunch at Diamond is always amazing. I always really enjoy the little break period between there, but then that's when I head to lab. So in the senior welding lab, we head in and we spend the least amount of time in the classroom as possible. So we go in, we do a little bit of work just to make sure that we are caught up on our welding theory, and then we head straight out to lab. So we have learned all of the different welding processes and cutting processes with welding. So currently we are working to get our TIG 1/8 steel certification. So we are constantly working from the beginning of the day in lab until the end of it, and we all really enjoy it. But
So that's amazing. It's amazing. I was thinking like, oh, who can bend steel? Superman and Emma. Emma can do it too.
Yeah.
Being in welding. So it sounds like a very robust. Did you ever get to see the horses out in the equine program? I mean, Diamond Oaks is a beautiful campus.
Yes, I have. I do 8th grade tours and stuff, so I actually do have the opportunity to take students out, and I get to see the horses as well. So it's always super fun.
I'll just add my first tour of Diamond. A horse had just been born, and not like that moment, but within the last day, and it was pretty tremendously awesome thing to witness and see. You know, it strikes me that it is a very full day, but you're still having a good time. You're still enjoying yourself. Are you involved with extracurriculars at your home school as well?
Yes, I am. So I was involved in marching band, and I was actually still able to be drum major. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with the marching band process, but drum major is sort of the head person for the marching band. So it was a really great opportunity to be able to not only be
That's
involved,
amazing.
but also,
That is amazing. And if someone's like tuba broke, you could weld it and fix it right on the spot.
most likely, yeah.
That's amazing. It's amazing. I'm so glad you're able to join us, and congratulations on that win. You know, again, she just got back from Columbus, everybody. And this is a really big honor with Skills USA, right? And we're so happy that she's able to join us this evening, and we get to hear some of that perspective. Well, let's see some of our students in action in our facilities learning hands-on. We're going to run another video real quick. I love the drone shot of campus. I just have the aerial sense of, you know, these are really beautiful spots, and each one is unique. That last shot was of Diamond Oaks, where Emma's attending. I wanted to jump back to Bill for a moment. I know, Bill, that you've worked with our feeder districts, families, counselors, and others for many years. We talked about your longevity here, of course. What would you say are some of the misconceptions of Great Oaks?
Well, I think some Molly hit earlier, which was awesome as a parent, and that testimonial. It's the same in the home schools when I deal with in the past counselors, teachers, and then in parents and community. But that, you know, if you want to go to college, this isn't a place for you. I mean, the stigma is changing, but I will say, you know, there are times where I've had current parents of students that said, well, you know, when I was in school, you know, this wasn't the place for my kid. I don't want my kid there. When I was, you know, I just come visit. It's a different place. You know, what we have, and our academics are what you're going to get in the high school. If you're going to take it there, you can take it with us. You can take the college credit classes. I mean, we have those available. And we have an acceptance process. I mean, we don't take students who are behind in credits any longer. I mean, that has definitely changed. And what students have available to them I mean, I've been in the district for 31 years, so I've seen a lot of changes. It's always been great and awesome opportunities for sure. But now, I mean, it's night and day, even better with what we have. So the misconceptions of what you can do after school, the courses that we offer, the type of students that are here. You know, students years ago they were forced to come to a career center. Not just ours, career centers, that was the stigma that they were given. It was a place for students who weren't going on to college, who couldn't handle regular high school. Well, this is high school and beyond. To me, it's really like you're going off to start your college career with a major. You're still taking your academic side, but you're focusing on your major also. So that's a big part, is when people actually come and visit and see and get to experience what we have and have to offer, and what their students can get here and their kids can get here. They wish they could come back to school. So that's what I hear so much. I had parents on campus last week, and they're like, can I come to school here? This is where I want to be. It wasn't like this when I was in high school. And I would say, well, it was a little bit still like this. You just didn't realize it because you didn't give it a chance back then. So give it a chance, come visit, see what it's about, and they'll get to be able to see the greatness that they can get out of it.
It's great. It's great advice. And thinking about the leadership opportunities, and we just talked to Emma about this, but we have career tech student organizations that allow for students to go compete within the school, regionally, even internationally. Bill, talk to us about CTSOs.
Yeah. So every program is aligned with a CTSO. So I know a lot of people, especially in my area, in Laurel Oaks area, familiar with FFA. But we have an FFA for every program. So Business Professionals of America that they're involved with, our HOSA, Health Occupation Students of America, our Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. We have these organizations, our Skills USA, which Emma's a part of. So they can become an officer, they do competitions, they build on their leadership skills, they can go to leadership camp, they can go to state conference, but as they advance, they're using their skills they're learning in their labs to compete and go on. And like you said, state level, national level, and then we've had some go international. So it's just a great opportunity. So every program has a student organization, and the fees are paid by Great Oaks. There's no fees for that. There's no dues. The organization, we pay for all those for our students to get those opportunities.
And they say the proof's in the pudding, right? And we have real certifications that we offer students through our labs. We also offer college credit programs. Bill, talk about some of those.
Yeah, so in our labs, I mean, with 31 labs we have in the Great Oaks district, just the certifications that are available. And these are real life certifications. Like we'll talk about the DAD lab as Audrey's in with Molly there, is they can get their Adobe certifications. I mean, they become an Adobe associate. There are 6 Adobe certifications. So if you're in that art world and that digital art world, those are important to you. And those are there. Our ITs, our welding, which Emma's in, she talked about certifications. Those are real life welding certifications. You're going to go out there as an adult, you're going to take those somewhere and pay for those. And here you can get those for free. So all of our labs have that. Some carry college credit with that. We have programs that students can take. They're taking those college credits. They're called CTAG in Ohio. Direct college credit to these colleges from their labs. So along with the academic college credits that they can earn, they can also learn college credits through their lab courses. So when you go to school, if you're in a health program, you've taken your medical terminology and you go on to nursing school, you've had medical terminology, you had it in high school. So that's a college credit that carries with you that you took during your lab time. So all of ours, these are real life certifications that go out and take you straight to a job or give you a big advancement into into college of things you won't be able to skip or an advancement in.
Great. And I know we keep emphasizing the 2-year programs because we're mostly talking to high school sophomores. And then we're talking about 2-year courses, the lab for juniors in the morning and then the afternoon for seniors. Bill, are there opportunities for an incoming senior at Great Oaks?
So we do have some incoming seniors that can come in. Now, I will say it fills with our 2-year students first. All of our programs, the 2-year students have preference, but if there is an opening where it doesn't fill, we can take a senior into a program. We do have some seniors who are involved with, people will be familiar with an IEP, that decide to not accept their diploma. They could come for 2 years, a senior year and a post high school year through us as still as high school students. That's an opportunity also for some. Those are individualized cases. But mostly we're going to take juniors, but there is an opportunity in some programs. We don't have any currently any just senior only programs. I have one at Laurel Oaks for my phlebotomy. It is a senior second semester program students can come for, but other than that, seniors can come as long as there are openings available in our programs after all of the juniors have been placed into a program.
Just a quick reminder to keep those questions flowing. We've got people who are helping to get those to me. And also, again, Sarah is online to help answer questions online. Quickly, thinking about some students who are coming a ways on the bus. I know that we've got, again, 2,200 square miles of coverage in our 36 school districts. So and I mentioned earlier that the affiliate schools will get you to the closest campus for Great Oaks. But maybe just Emma, how do you get to school? Curious. Are you riding the bus from Harrison?
I rode the bus from Harrison last year. This year I have had my Nana take me to school via the car, but I was able to get dropped off at Harrison in the mornings and then take a bus and arrive at Great Oaks or at Diamond Oaks right on time.
And you were still able to do your extracurricular activities while doing the bus too. That's tremendous. So I think,
oh, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
That was the main way that I got to Harrison for marching band every day. So when the season was in session, I would take the bus from Diamond Oaks at the end of the day back to Harrison, and that would give me a few hours before rehearsal to get ready, to do homework, and to prepare myself to participate in the activities there.
And, Bill, thinking about like those longer distances up in your neck of the woods around Wilmington and the counties, the districts that we're serving in the northern part of our service area, what kind of challenges would there be for buses and after school activities and extracurriculars?
Well, yeah, we're on a different schedule. I mean, Audrey actually is an example of that at Washington Courthouse. So, I mean, they're on the bus, it's a 35-minute drive, 30-minute, more than that. Some of our schools a little farther than that. So if students are involved in after school activities and they need to be able to get back to their school earlier than the bus would get them, they do need to provide their own transportation for that. And so students, whether they carpool, whether they drive, their parent or somebody picks them up. I think Molly mentioned how Audrey on certain days will drive if it's a day she had to leave early, whether it was maybe for swim or for marching band. So many of our students do that. But the bus will get them back there to some of our closer schools. They're able to get back right after school for activities. But we do have some in my area that are a 30, 35, 45-minute drive from our school back to their school. So to get back on time, they provide their own transportation for those activities.
Gotcha. And touching back on the certifications for a moment, Conley mentioned that got certified in FEMA, and Conley, was it defensive driving?
Yes.
Does that come in handy in Atlanta? Is it driving pretty rough around there?
Actually, it does.
So you left Great Oaks with some certifications, and that was through the law enforcement program.
Yeah, they gave you a big old. So part of the graduation process is coming up with a whole folder, and you have a whole fat folder full of certificates.
We call it your career passport.
Yeah.
So you walk. So actually, to be clear, you graduate from your affiliate school. That's
Right.
where your diploma is from. But then
Yes.
from Great Oaks, we bestow upon you certifications, and we're looking into how to best to compile that. But we want students to walk away with a solid resume and all their certifications, so they're ready for employment or for graduate school, further training, apprenticeship, what have you. I'm going to turn it to Anne for a moment. What if, like we've talked about all of these students who have been very laser focused on what they want to do. What if you're not sure? And here you're a sophomore and you're looking at 31 available labs. What if you're not quite sure which field you're really interested in? What advice would you give them?
First thing I would say is that's very normal. It's okay not to know, especially at this age, but you do have interests, you do have good things. There are things that you're good at. So I think it's exploring those to start. And I think I'm going to echo kind of what Bill said is come visit us, come see us, take advantage of all the opportunities that your affiliated schools offer to get you to come to us, whether it's open house or shadowing day. We're having, I think tomorrow, 3 of our campuses are having a shadowing day. And then if you don't get to those, we also have some shadowing days at all of our campuses that you can come see, what we have to offer. And I'm a firm believer. I was a former teacher that you have to experience all your senses. So you have to get in a lab and see it and touch it and smell it and really kind of get a feel of things. So come visit, that's what I would say is if you're not sure, that's okay. But we have, like you said, 31 awesome programs.
And we're showing up on the screen right now, again, the open houses that are coming up. And we really do encourage everyone to come see us, come visit those labs, talk to those instructors. I think you'll find the labs are really quite amazing. We're talking about whether you're talking about culinary or cosmetology or our auto lab, there really are impressive facilities. And we make sure we do that. We keep up with the latest technology. We have a whole team of consultants from the business community who help advise us on what's needed and how to best train the workforce moving forward. And we take all of that quite seriously. I really feel like this is great, having a forum, asking questions. We certainly want to hear more of your questions. But yes, please do come for a visit. And I know that Bill will be there for the Laurel Oaks open house. I know Ann will be there for the Scarlet Oaks open house. We'll have folks there for Live Oaks, and Laura will be there for Diamond Oaks. They're eager to speak with you, to prospective students, to our parents. Maybe talk about what is the criteria for choosing who is able to attend. I'm going to send that one to you, Anne. The criteria for who is able to attend.
So I think I always ask when people call or email, we have an agreement with 36 affiliated schools. So we always, kind of start there to make sure that they're not outside of those. Not that we don't have instances where, students are outside of our district. But then I kind of say, it's looking at applying. Our applications, our priority application runs till February 7th. And there's a piece that the affiliated school will take care of their homeschool counselors. They provide us their transcripts. And really just, Bill kind of touched on this, that we want students who aren't behind on credits. We're looking at, are you on track for graduation and those kind of things. So I think that's what you were looking for, correct, Chris?
Yeah. And again, maybe a follow-up to that, Anne, is how are students selected for the programs, especially one that might be looking at the max enrollment. Welding, for instance, Emma's playground there is a very popular program at all of our campuses. So what happens if that's full?
So this year, and it's actually kind of across the board, if that happens where we have a program that is, we call it oversubscribed, meaning we have more applicants than we do space. We look at a lottery system to make it more equitable. All career tech centers in the state of Ohio are doing that, or they are supposed to be doing that. And so we will look at a lottery, meaning every student's assigned a number, and we work through that system as long as they've applied by that February 7th deadline.
Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. And when you're applying, you can have a first choice that you might be waitlisted for, and then you can also choose a second choice and be enrolled in that lab. But if a spot becomes open in that first choice, that accommodation would be made down the road. So ultimately we want our students to be in the lab that they want to be studying in, for sure. Thinking about the future for a moment, I'm going to turn back to Molly. Thinking about, Audrey and her studies, where do you think she wants to be in a couple of years? She's getting some certifications. Bill mentioned the kinds of things you can do in DAD. I like saying DAD. What do you think is next for her?
Audrey has committed to Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona, and she's hoping to pursue her degree in graphic design. That's the kind of start that we're looking at. We're not real sure how that's going to shift out for her, but we're excited for her plans, and she's excited for that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And Emma, thinking about where things are going for you, you've got some exciting developments in your high school years here. Do you have a sense of what direction you want to go in?
So for me, I signed up and applied for the welding program just because the opportunity was there and I wanted to get some hands-on experience. I didn't know at the time what I wanted to do for my career, but over the past couple of years, I've had a lot of support from the district, and I'm not going to be pursuing a career in welding, despite the fact that I will be continuing to weld after high school, but I am going to be going to the University of Cincinnati for geology.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And I always think the skills that you're obtaining in your labs while at Great Oaks, those are still applicable in so many ways, no matter what you end up doing with your life professionally. And again, some of those skills, those professional skills that you develop, all applicable. So wonderful to hear. Wonderful to hear. So our application is currently open. And I know some programs are filling fast. And February 7th is a deadline. Again, we've got our open houses that are coming up next week. Anything else that we should know about for the timeline, Ann or Bill, as far as the application process?
Well, I'll jump in there with that. Application, as Ann mentioned, the priority deadline is February 7th. Students can apply after that. But you got to give us a little time. We have students that have applied as early as November already and have put applications in as soon as they opened. Actually, the night before they opened, they came in somehow. It takes us a while to process. The homeschools give us information. We got to check their credits, those things, and they'll get notified early March of where their status is. So as far as what's coming up with applications, make sure you get them in by February 7th for priority choices. And then in about a month later, we'll get notified of where they stand on their status of their application, as whether they're in, whether they're on a waiting list in their second choice, or whatever that is. So, and then we'll do some things in the spring, and we do visits in the spring to get those new students who are accepted onto our campuses. So we'll be in contact and keep those things going. But that application process, I always remember February 7th, very important date for those students to get those in by then, because some programs will be filled after February 7th. There will not be a spot for anybody after that.
A day that will remain in infamy, February 7th. So on
Yeah.
the screen, you see your career specialist for each of the campus, contact information, all very, very important in the deadline that Bill mentioned. And then we'll also put up the slide again for the open houses that are coming up. I am so grateful for all of you joining us. This has been recorded, so you can go back and watch it again. And again, we're still available to answer questions. So please feel free to shoot us questions that we'll be happy to answer for you. I want to thank some people that are behind the scenes. Sarah Taylor from our Student Services Department was there on the chat helping to answer questions. Thank you, Sarah. Amzai is our director, Angela Grimm, Katie sitting right across from me, Katie Cleary. All these people have been helping us pull this together. I want to especially thank our panelists. Thank you, Conley. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Bill, for all of your expertise and input and unique perspective. Again, applications are open, and we hope that you consider Great Oaks and come for a visit. It's been my pleasure to be sort of your MC and host for this evening. I hope you found this to be a lot of useful information. And again, please feel free to follow up with us via email, through our channels, through our very skilled career specialists. They are here to help answer your questions and help guide that journey. Thank you again for joining us, and have a great rest of your evening.